Disclaimer, the comments made in this video are intended for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to offend anyone. Welcome to another episode where opinions meet stronger face plants. Grab your popcorn. Things get uncomfortable in the funniest way possible. Kicking things off, watch a liberal try to lecture Piers Morgan on empathy and somehow prove his point for him.
To be referred to the pronouns that they want actually aid them in their self-esteem and their validation and affirmation in life.
And their lives obviously are lacking a lot of other things. Nobody cares about pronouns.
What would their life be lacking?
What pronouns are yours?
I'm he, him.
Okay, so you're a bloke?
Yes.
Why do you need to call yourself he, him? I know what you are. Do you feel affirmed by the fact you call me he, him?
I'm talking about other pronouns, so like they, them, z.
Well, there's one person
Well,
saying, call me they, them.
But, okay, well,
they, them is a plural.
Right,
How
but-
can you be more than one
So
person?
guess what? Someone that's non-binary who can engender both masculine and feminine traits, and that is their gender. If that's what they want to be called, why is it so hard for you?
I just think it's all bullshit.
But I'm asking you,
I don't.
why can't you just call them what they want to be called
No,
if that's what they want to be
because
called?
I don't want to.
So
Again.
empathy is a muscle that you could develop in therapy. So if you went to therapy, you'd have developed that muscle.
Can't think of anything I'd rather less develop.
Well,
When one human being says to me, call me they, them, I laugh. It's absurd.
Nothing says inclusive conversation like demanding everyone go to therapy because you didn't convince them in a debate. Apparently empathy is now a gym membership. We're all supposed to bulk up until strangers' pronouns raise their self-esteem. Meanwhile, Piers is sitting there like, sir, this is nonsense. Now for my personal favorite, a Kamala fan who can praise her for 5 minutes and name 0 accomplishments.
So we're here outside of the Kamala Harris event. I want to know, what are you most excited for tonight?
Probably most excited for the greatest female almost president in history. She was really a champion of women's rights, transgender people's rights, so really everything I agree with.
If she were to run for president, would she have your unwavering support?
100%. I'd try to get out the vote for everyone. I'd be willing to table for her, go knock doors. I'd really do anything to help Kamala.
Well, hey, last question for you. Could you name me Kamala Harris's greatest accomplishment in your opinion over the last 4 years when she was vice president?
Probably being the borders are.
Do you think she did a good job as borders are?
I think she did exactly what she was supposed to do. We have way more migrants now, so more the merrier. Open borders.
Behold the magic of admiration without context. What did she do, you ask? She let immigrants in. He says, that's the entirety of accomplishment criteria now. Permission slips for people. Who needs legislation or achievements when you've got approval points? Up next, enjoy this activist arguing about ICE until she's asked a real question and her brain blue screens.
See a lot of ICE detaining people peacefully.
But let's get. Oh, of course you do. Of course you do. Yeah. You see what you're looking for. You know what I mean? So you might be at like a protest and there's a clash between federal agents and people where somebody that's getting arrested is an American citizen. Well, they're getting arrested because they're obstructing an official process.
Where they're going masked and being kidnapped and deported to countries they didn't even come
because
from.
people are trying to murder them and dox them and their families.
Not
That's why.
all of
That's
them.
why
No.
they hide their protection, their faces,
not all of them.
and not all of them hide their faces.
And also, not everybody crossing the border is here to cause harm.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is a massive national effort to dox ICE agents, their families. You've also seen multiple assassination attempts at ICE facilities. So the fact that they're wearing masks to protect their identities is not that surprising, is it?
ICE is an entity that's going around doxing people. So the fact that they're being targeted back doesn't surprise me. Do I think it's right? No. I don't think there should be targeting. I don't think there should be any targeting back and forth at all.
How are they doxing people? What do you mean? You said that ICE is doxing people. That's what you just said.
Yes.
How?
I think people should be treated like human beings.
Yeah.
And not like animals or inferior people.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
Well, I disagree that they're doing that, you know? I disagree. And I think the act of enforcing immigration law is super important. There's not a single benefit to the American people.
Right and humanely, and that's not the way to do it.
And what is it, though? We got to hear what it is.
I'm leaving.
Last note, ma'am.
Guys, that's my lap.
All right.
This is what happens when someone argues from emotion instead of facts. The moment you ask for specifics, the Wi-Fi connection in their brain drops. Doxing magically becomes not surprising until she's asked to explain it. Then poof, moral outrage turns into a quick retreat. Sliding right along, here's a debate where everything, literally everything, is apparently patriarchy.
If a kid cuts their hair and chooses to wear a different kind of clothes, what's the harm in that? Yeah, who's So you would let your...
The kid is being harmed. Again, I'm never having kids, but hypothetically...
You would let your boy wear dresses?
Yeah. Even if...
Out and about, like walk around outside?
Yeah. If I had a son, which, again, child...
Yeah, I know, you're not going to want to have kids, yeah.
If I were to have a kid, and my kid was like, Mommy, I want to wear dresses, and I had a son, I'd be like, okay, what kind of dresses do you want to wear? I wouldn't push anything on him, but if my kid expressed that desire, and it wasn't something that was going to actively harm him...
See, and that's where we as adults come in and say, hey, like, actually, I still want you to be what you were born as. I'm going to buy you masculine clothes.
Largely with the patriarchy, because it enforces such strict gender rules on everyone. I think that...
How is that a patriarchy, though?
Because it essentially pushes people in... That is the point of the patriarchy. It pushes people into these boxes of man and woman.
No, because you want what's right for them. That's what parents do.
Here's a masterclass in debating from theory over reality. Masculinity is now a tool of oppression, but only if it exists in a child you don't have. Bonus points for turning every opinion into a systemic conspiracy. Feminist thought meets an imaginary son. And in this next clip, watch a woman talk about protecting the lowest in society, while pretending unborn babies don't exist.
The government should punish, like, pedophiles, right?
I'm going to be real honest. My viewpoint is however we treat the lowest in society is how we ought to be judged. How do you know?
So that's the logical question. So I think the most mistreated, unprotected human beings in our society are human beings in the womb.
Then let me ask you this. You are in a terrible car accident. This is a hypothetical.
Yes.
You're in a car accident.
Yes.
You're in a hospital. And there's someone, a perfect stranger, who has also been completely hurt in this accident, and it destroys their liver. They can't filter through anything.
Yeah.
In this situation, modern science can't do anything. So what they decide to do is this very ethically questionable doctor hooks up that person to you so that you can then be the liver to filtrate that person.
Yeah.
They will never wake up. Is it right for you to say, I refuse to put this person to be used as life support?
Yeah, so it's 100% disanalogous to abortion.
Is it?
Yes.
How so?
Okay, so in an abortion, you've got a human being that's been newly conceived and is now living in the one place they're able to live inside
your bodily system.
Right. Just like you did, just like I did, just like all of us did.
I didn't ask to be here, but sure, yeah.
Watch carefully. One woman tries to elevate empathy, but ends up arguing with biology itself. Car crashes, hypothetical organ donations, none of it lands. Then comes the verbal nuke. Just like you did. Boom. Logic wins, feelings left crying in the corner. Coming up, watch Piers Morgan explain history to someone who thinks calling Trump Hitler is brave activism.
You spent most of the book
If you read, sorry?
You spent most of the book with Trump off.
No, I didn't.
After spending years being a critic of his, then you needed to win favor back.
I've never spent
power.
years as a critic of Trump. Known Donald Trump nearly 20 years. He'd been a politician for the last 10 years of that period. In that time, I used to write columns for the Daily Mail in America. After his first term in office, I wrote about 120 columns about Trump. About half were negative and half were positive. I do think in Trump's first term, if people had been fairer to give him credit where he deserved it and criticized him when he deserved it, everyone would have been a lot better off. I feel it now. The Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing, and it's
I
honestly,
wear that badge proudly.
I know, but it's kind of pathetic. It's like when I hear people say he's the new Hitler. Really? Hitler 12 million people, including 6 million Jews in the Holocaust. You think Donald Trump is the new Hitler? You're an idiot.
You can yell hyperbole all you want, but facts don't care about your feelings. Piers dismantles the Trump, Chacker, Hitler crowd in one sentence, proving once again that historical perspective, Twitter outrage. Drama meets reality, and reality wins, hands down. Next, Jordan Peterson tries to teach basic biology, while his opponent argues feelings at facts.
What do you understand by equality, Sophie? What does it mean to you?
Freedom. I'm interested in people being able to have different choices and having equality of outcome.
Aha. Well, so you're going to have choices and equality of outcome. What if people choose different things, which is what they've been doing in Scandinavia? So the Scandinavian countries have moved more towards gender equality than any other countries, and the personality differences in Scandinavia have increased rather than decreased, and the proportion of women who are choosing STEM fields has decreased rather than increased. So as cultures become more gender neutral, the number of women who choose STEM fields decrease. It was a shock to everyone to find that out.
I'm really also very much interested in studies like the analysis that was done by the American Psychological Society. Its conclusion was that men and women are basically alike in terms of personality, in terms of cognitive ability, in terms of leadership, but what it did find was that media depictions of men and women as fundamentally different perpetuate misconceptions, as does workplace.
Men and women actually are more the same than they are different. But the issue is that small differences at the population level can turn into very large differences at the extreme. So, for example, men and women are broadly similar with regards to aggression, although men tilt a little bit more towards aggression. So that if you picked a random person out of the population, male and female, and you guessed that the male was more aggressive, you'd be right 60% of the time. But if you take the 1 in 100 most aggressive people, they're all male. And that's why the overwhelming proportion of people who are in prisons are male. Now, do you want to equalize that, just out of curiosity? What about bricklayers? They're 99% male. And we've got about 3/4 of the population now in universities in the humanities and social sciences are female.
Yeah.
Are we going to equalize?
Here's equality according to some. Everyone is exactly the same, except when inconvenient facts show otherwise. Peterson calmly drops real-world data, while she clings to the men and women are alike mantra. Science says one thing, ideology says another. Guess which one wins? Spoiler, not feeling. And here, witness a woman defend Planned Parenthood and accidentally defend eugenics at the same time.
And yet you bash Planned Parenthood for starting at eugenicists.
Yes.
When they were just keeping up with the times. Hence is why they moved on to abortion past eugenicists.
I don't actually have anything to say to that because you just admitted that you're okay that Planned Parenthood started...
Disney started with racist movies, didn't they?
They did have racism.
So do we all support Disney in here?
No, most of us probably would say no.
Do you guys still watch Disney movies?
Horrible.
Yeah! So you're telling me that no
I can't
one
believe
in
you just
here
said
has ever seen a Disney movie.
Justified eugenics beliefs and saying they were just keeping... Margaret Sanger spoke at a women's KKK rally. Was she just keeping up with the times? Or was that wrong?
Are you going to say all old people now are still racist?
Not all old people spoke at a KKK rally.
But they were still raised to be racist, and people change.
Absolutely, people can change, and people can be forgiven as well. But the point is, the organization known as Planned Parenthood started out a racist eugenics founding, and they've continued to promote that eugenics practice in the fact that 80.9% of all their abortion facilities are located in walkable urban minority neighborhoods. We know they continue to practice eugenics today. Are you okay with the fact that more than half of all babies in New York City, more than half are aborted rather than born? Are you okay that there's more abortions of black babies than births? Is that okay with you?
It's not my place to decide whether a woman has an abortion or not.
I honestly don't have anything more to say. I mean, you keep asking questions, but I mean, you just defended eugenics and you defended racism. So you had to do that.
She sidesteps accountability like a pro, defend an organization's eugenic past, then claim personal choice absolves you. History says one thing, her argument says another, and somehow the contradiction passes as debate tactics. Next, we have someone demanding pronoun respect from a reporter who clearly didn't get the memo.
Why don't you want to be a girl? You're refusing to call me he. You want me to actively call you a boy and call you he. That's crazy because that's what I just said. I'm not going to do it.
Here's a perfect example of woke optimism colliding with a brick wall. The girl confidently announces her pronouns, expecting an immediate yes sir. Instead, the reporter rejects the request like a pop-up ad. You can almost hear her internal error message. Respect XA has stopped working. Moving on, here's a protester who loves helping immigrants, as long as someone else does the helping.
He's an illegal immigrant from Mexico. We were wondering if you could support him financially or giving him the keys to your house. He's been in awful detention centers. Are you willing to help him out right now?
I know. And I don't have cash.
Do you take Venmo? Sí.
I don't know what that is.
Check?
No.
Credit card? No. We could write down your credit card information.
I do feel for you, but...
Yes, compassion with a strict terms and conditions clause. She feels for him, just not enough to actually do anything. Sympathy points awarded, action points 0. hero. The classic modern protester move, care deeply from a safe distance. Rolling on, check out this guy who supports immigration, just not inside his house.
You support immigration?
Yeah.
Recently, the state of Massachusetts said that people should step up and open up their homes to house migrants. Would you sign this pledge today to open up your home to house a migrant?
No.
Here's modern activism boiled down. Love immigrants from a safe distance, but don't let them anywhere near your personal space. Idealism meets reality, and suddenly, support comes with a hard, except here clause. Up next, a socialist who loves communism, but wouldn't move there even with a free ticket and 20 grand.
I got an offer for you before we move on. If I were to give you your $2,350, which is the cost to renunciate your citizenship, and I paid you your first class, flight to whatever communist country, and $20,000 of spending money.
Name me a communist country.
Would you give up your citizenship
Name
to go
me
to
a
that
communist country and I'll move
Whichever
out there.
communist country you want to go to.
yeah,
Cuba,
we
we can
that's
give
not
you
a communist
Venezuela,
country.
we give you North Korea, any one of those you want to
Those
go
aren't
to.
communist countries. Not
Choose any one of them, I'll give you a one-way ticket, and I'll fund it for you if you want to.
That's it.
Meet the armchair revolutionary, passionately support communism on social media, but walk straight past it when given a golden opportunity. Principles good, personal risk bad. Classic case of capitalism convenience meets socialist fantasy. Now watch a reporter explain the border crisis, while a liberal insists Biden fixed it with vibes, I guess.
President Biden passed a series of executive actions, and illegal border crossings are now at their lowest levels in about 5 years, so much so that Greg Abbott is no longer busing people to other cities. But let me ask this fundamental question.
Please.
Will families be separated under your mass deportation?
And again, I do want to answer this question about families and about deportations, but you made this point that border crossings are lower. Border crossings at the southern border are lower because the Harris administration is sending more immigrants through the ports of entry. So instead of coming through the southern border, they're now being flown at taxpayer expense to the ports of entry all over our country. The number of illegal crossings, they're not any lower. They're just shuffling how the people are coming into the country in the first place. And this is very important.
They're
now,
able to
about
process them more
deportations.
efficiently, but Greg Abbott's not setting them to other
listen,
states.
I don't want a border czar who makes it more efficient for illegal immigrants to come into this country. That's why we have the...
The magical thinking strikes again. Low numbers at the border. Clearly a legislative miracle. Meanwhile, reality quietly points out that the system just rerouted people through official ports. Facts versus narrative. Guess which one loses in the interview spotlight? And in this one, a liberal says no black person compares abortion to slavery until a black woman walks up.
It's really laughable that it's only white people equating slavery to owning an abortion. Not once have I heard one black or woman of color.
Faith, do you want to come up here? Because apparently color matters.
I would like to hear from a woman of color why
Sure,
that
Faith,
is racist.
come on up here.
I would rather hear that.
Go ahead, Faith.
What's that funny?
Why are you pro-life, Faith?
Yes, thank you.
I am pro-life because life begins in the womb at conception, and I think that our personhood, our rights should not be based on having to be human plus something else. That's exactly what happened with slavery, where we were told that you have to be human plus not black. And now we're saying that you have to be human plus a certain age, or human and in a different location. And so really what abortion is age-based discrimination.
They were seen as human beings. Black people were not seen as humans. They were
The Supreme Court actually said that they were 3/5 a human person. Just like how you all have denied that a child in the womb is a human.
It's remarkable how some arguments hinge entirely on selective reasoning. Principles are claimed, but consistency is optional. When ideology conflicts with actual logic, suddenly moral authority feels shaky and opinions lose their weight. Facts don't bend to narrative, no matter how confidently they're delivered. Finally, we close with someone redefining conversion therapy so hard it circles back to reality.
This isn't a mental illness. Don't stick them into the conversion therapy to say, no, don't.
Wait, how could... Wait, hold up. How can we call this conversion therapy?
That's what you just saw. That's what you told me. Well, you gave me the best definition of conversion therapy there is. You said she says she wants to turn into a boy, and the parent says, no, I'll take you to therapy for your mental illness. That's what you told. That's what you said.
And you think that's conversion therapy? Okay, conversion therapy to me sounds like, yes, Cindy, I know you were born a girl, but I'm going to tell you that your delusion you can be a male is totally real, and I'm going to try to help convert you to be a male. I think gender affirming care is telling Cindy there was no mistake made on her, that she's perfect the way she is, and that we want to help her get to a place where she sees how wonderful she is the same way we do.
Do you remember we used to do it at Gatehold and say, Dad.
You don't understand. If you have somebody who is a biological female and they say they want to be a male and you change them, you are describing a conversion. That's conversion therapy. What you're doing, gender-affirming care. Okay, we can wind up, but gender-affirming care is telling that child there is nothing wrong with them, that they are wonderful, that they are perfectly made.
Sometimes truth is painfully simple. The man boils it down. Therapy shouldn't validate delusion. It should acknowledge reality. Gender-affirming care supports someone as they biologically are, not as their imagination dictates. Logic over feelings wins the round, proving that clarity often humbles even the most confident ideological arguments. Well, folks, another day, another collection of arguments that aged like unrefrigerated milk. If these reality checks made you laugh, cringe, or rethink humanity, go ahead and subscribe.